Good morning and welcome to Primetime Analysis. Not even a miracle can save you. This is the message that MUTAHI Ngunyi has sent to President William Ruto. In his fiery tweets that he made yesterday evening, I guess he looked at the current political situation and looked at the level of popularity that William Ruto has attracted in his time in office, and he has posed several questions to the president. And these are the questions that we want to look at in this analysis. But before we begin, let me take this time to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And for those who have not subscribed, please take a second or two to subscribe so that next time we make such kind of videos, you get notified immediately. And for those who are supporting us, we thank you for the support. And remember, we don't take that support for granted. Now, MUTAHI Ngunyi is one of the political commentators that in this country, if he speaks, I get to listen. The reason why I say this is because of his ability to gauge the political mood in the country. Since 2013, MUTAHI Ngunyi has made certain predictions that in many cases, they have come into fruition. First of all, if you remember the tyranny of numbers and the manner in which Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto managed to get into office, this was a prediction that MUTAHI Ngunyi gave to Kenyans. And by all means, he was sure that Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were going to win the 2013 presidential elections. Come 2017, he also talked. In 2017, MUTAHI Ngunyi told Kenyans that there is no way tyranny of numbers would be defeated. And with the addition of other tribes, William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta were going to have their second term. Regardless of the manner in which the election was conducted, still Uhuru Kenyatta became the president. Come 2022, from 2017 towards 2022, MUTAHI Ngunyi talked of the hustler nation. And in fact, he is the person who coined the term hustler nation. And this hustler nation became a force to reckon with for Azimio and his team at the end of the tenure for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And therefore, when he speaks, I believe he has a crystal ball that is so clear and that is so predictive of the situations and happenings of this country. And this is what MUTAHI Ngunyi told William Ruto in a tweet that was tweeted yesterday. That is after Raila Odinga had made the entry into the CBD and after he had talked to the people there in that impromptu rally that happened yesterday. Listen to the tweet. The first one is this. Dear Ruto, Christmas, you will have only 3.5 years left and you will have achieved nothing. The rebellion virus is now an epidemic powered by the courts. They killed CS, then suspended the Finance Bill, Act 2023. And there is Raila. When will you start work? Christmas? Looking at this tweet, MUTAHI Ngunyi is of the opinion that gauging by the activities that William Ruto has done, he has not started work yet. And looking at it, you will be convinced that William Ruto has done nothing. As a new president and as a person who was there close to power, working as deputy president for the past 10 years, one would think that President William Ruto knew where to attack immediately he got into office. I sometimes remember one day William Ruto saying in an interview that the successful projects that were conducted during Jubilee tenure, they were planned in his office. He talked of how he had long night meetings with key ministers in these sectors and formed development plan for those projects. But now when he's now in that seat, I'm wondering, where are the meetings that he said he was going to have? Or where is that blueprint that he used to ensure that successes in Jubilee administration worked? Many have contended that William Ruto still has more time and that he should be given time to achieve specific objectives. But one thing is here. Remember, William Ruto gave people promises. And Kenya right now is not Kenya of the 90s, neither is it Kenya of the early 2000s. Right now, Kenyans are more youthful, more vibrant, and more engaged in political activities, more interested, because these are the people who are lied to. And therefore, they want William Ruto to hold the end of his bargain. If he has said, and he told the Kenyans that at the end of me getting sworn in, prices of commodities shall come down. Then when he comes in, he creates a finance act that raises taxes. For me, looking at this, I am also of the opinion that MUTAHI Ngunyi is very right on his call and advice to William Ruto. He has asked him and he has told him that the revolution virus has become an epidemic and it is fired by the courts and it is also fired the courts killed the CS position. It has also suspended the Finance Act 2023 and therefore the battle has begun. One of the Waterloos that Uhuru Kenyatta had in the entire tenure that he also had, the courts became the major threat to his presidency. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta was even worse because even his election itself was nullified by the courts. And therefore, for me, while many people might be pessimistic, I believe at some point in the judicial system, regardless of how much it is captured, there are instances when judiciary will come and save Kenyans. MUTAHI Ngunyi is asking William Ruto, at Christmas, you'll be having only 3.5 years left to work. You have done nothing. What will you tell Kenyans? When will you start work? MUTAHI Ngunyi is asking him, will you start work at Christmas? That's a question that William Ruto should be worried about. And look at how things are turning out. Kenyans yesterday, when Raila Odinga got to the CBD, thronged that rally, impromptu rally, and people wondered where the crowd came from. It only shows you the kind of love that the common man has to Raila Odinga. And this even rattled the UDA camp because they wonder, this is a man whom within a second has rallied crowds all over. And those crowds are even ready to go with him and run with him wherever he's going. So this is something that is worth considering. Another shot that MUTAHI Ngunyi threw to William Ruto. And I want to read for you this tweet. And this is very heavy. MUTAHI Ngunyi says, "Dear Ruto, you have lost the hustler nation. The way Uhuru Kenyatta lost the gamer nation. What will you tell them in 2027 election? Stories of maize and fertilizer? Will they believe you? You will have to kill someone. But remember, you can kill the messenger, but not the message." Generally, my reading of this tweet is that William Ruto's goose is cooked. He has no way of getting out of this. And if you look at Kenya right now, if anybody would call for an election today, William Ruto would not even be second. And I think even David Mwaure would beat him. First of all, One mistake that William Ruto did is that he overpromised. And the people he promised were not the elderly, were the young people. The young people are on his case. And that is why social media is awash with messages castigating the president. Everywhere, any UDA person, like I remember over the weekend, Simbarati and Mashogu were, not Simbarati. I remember over the weekend, Silvanus Osoro and Mashogu were in Kisii over the Shabana march. And Osoro was chased away, him and the CS. It tells you that the people on the ground have looked at what this government is doing and they are not happy with it. And I want to be very critical here. For any member of parliament who is in one way or the other siding with this government, I can assure you, you will have a tough time ahead. And if the courts do not end these punitive taxes that you've imposed on Kenyans, it will be tough. And when the next budget will be read, you will also force it on Kenyans. The other budget will be read, you will also force it on Kenyans. These budgets will be the problem that William Ruto will have. And just as the budget of his first budget has been critically examined, Kenyans are already waiting for the second budget. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta had an advantage there. Kenyans were not much interested in what is in the budget. But the manner in which Finance Act 2023 got public scrutiny, I can assure you, there will be no any Finance Act passed without Kenyans having thorough analysis of what is contained therein. And for me, I believe William Ruto might end up facing a problem that he was not prepared to face. MUTAHI Ngunyi tells him that pandemic revolution virus is there. There is also Raila. Since Moi presidency, Raila Odinga has been a thorn to all Kenyan presidents. He was a thorn to Moi. Moi knew how to deal with him. He incorporated him in. He was a thorn, a campaigner of Moi Kibaki. When betrayal came, he became a thorn to him. And he became a thorn to the end. Uhuru Kenyatta, he became a thorn to him. Uhuru Kenyatta knew, I cannot lead this country without this person, and therefore I must find a way of working with him. William Ruto talked tough. Raila Odinga is a force to reckon with, and he is just a beacon that carries the message. But the message is with the people. That is why MUTAHI Ngunyi is telling William Ruto that you can kill the messenger, but not the message. William Ruto's goose is cooked. He has lost the Hustler Nation, the same way Uhuru Kenyatta lost Gamer Nation. And remember one thing, Gamer Nation propelled Uhuru Kenyatta to presidency. When they left him, he became useless politically. And that is why you find even right now, his party goes easily and is being taken easily without any objection from the people. Try that with ODM. Try those shenanigans in ODM. And every every person who tries such kind of a thing will get to know that you don't mess with ODM. I believe if William Ruto is someone who takes advice, let him take the advice of MUTAHI Ngunyi. People like David Ndii have become very arrogant. Look at the kind of tweets they are sending around. And therefore, if you listen to such kind of people, you might end up ruining your term. So let him listen to MUTAHI Ngunyi and make amends with Hustler Nation. Because if he does not, he will never have any other chance to work with them. That's my take. Let's get down communicating in the comment section. And please remember to subscribe and like our videos